let's talk about TV shows. Normally, I would record one video per TV show that I watch, and I admit it was taking up a lot of my time, and it was taking away from me reviewing more movies like I wanted to. So I thought, okay, let's kill two birds with one stone. How about I make one video per week where I talk about every TV show that I'm watching, every episode of that week in this one video. And for anyone who maybe they don't want to sit through the whole video, it's going to be a little long, and you only want to hear me talk about certain episodes, like if you want to just hear the Arrow portion or the Flash, Supernatural, I'm going to create timestamps in the description of the video, so if you only want to see that part, just click on that time, and there you go. But I want to start this video right now by talking about Arrow because I just got done watching it. It's freshest in my head. The episode was called The Canaries, and I loved this episode. It started off with we see Sarah fighting Laurel. And if it wasn't for the commercial for this episode that we saw last week, I would have been like, whoa, what the hell is going on, right? But it's just between seeing Sarah back, who was one of my favorite characters, and just seeing the weirdness and novelty of two black canaries fighting each other. It was awesome. And then we skip backwards 48 hours earlier, and we see Oliver and Roy and basically the gang going on a mission, and Laurel is there as Black Canary, and Oliver does not approve of her being the Black Canary, and that shouldn't be too much of a surprise. It's a stance that makes sense. He, again, is a character who's speaking for the audience who look at Laurel and say she's not ready. She's not a hero. She hasn't earned the right to wear Sarah's costume and go out there and possibly kill herself. So it makes sense that Oliver felt that way. I like that he was voicing that to her and they were arguing back and forth. Not long after that, though, Malcolm shows up to the Arrow Cave, and he says that, look, if we're going to face Ra's al Ghul and the League, which, by the way, is it Ra's al Ghul or Ra's al Ghul? They say it both ways on this show. I'm going to stick with Ra's al Ghul. Malcolm says, all right, if we're going to hang with this guy, defend ourselves, we have to trust each other. And so that means Oliver has to tell Thea his secret. And that was something that I didn't think we would get this early. I say early, I guess it has been a long time coming, but it's something that I thought, I don't know, it was something I wondered about. I wondered how would she find out, but when Malcolm brought it up, I thought, oh yeah, he does kind of have to tell her. And Oliver was against it. Even Diggle was like, look, you're going to lose her if she finds out you've been lying to her this whole time. And I thought he was right. And to my surprise, Oliver, in the next scene, practically, tells Thea. In fact, I like the way he told her. I do like that it wasn't that she accidentally found out, because then she probably would be pissed. I like the fact that he told her on his own terms, and the way how he did it, he brought her down to the basement and showed her everything, the costume, and she just kind of soaked it all in, and I even loved her reaction, how she hugged him and said, thank you. And she even put herself down saying, wow, I doubted you all this time and I questioned every time I knew you were lying to me and you were really out saving people, doing good in the city. I like that she wasn't being selfish in the whole like, oh, you didn't tell me. It's probably what everybody thought she would react to. It's what most people might react to something like that about. But that's not what she said. I was waiting for her to say, hey, so that was you as the Arrow who came into my apartment and tried to kill me. Even though he didn't try to kill her, but they fought a little bit. They did joke about it later, though. So that, I really liked that scene. I liked how it played out. It was something that was touching, heartfelt, and I really liked Thea that much more for her reaction to it. And I want to mention Felicity really quick, because Felicity, I've seen a lot of comments on people shitting on Felicity like crazy. Pretty much saying that she's been annoying them the last couple of episodes because she has been very vocal on her opinions. She has opinions. She has definite thoughts on what's going on Oliver working with Malcolm. She's totally against it. She seems like she's this close to leaving the group actually over it. In fact, I'm a little surprised she's still there. But I agree with her. I do. I don't think I get it. It's strength in numbers, and Malcolm is a pretty knowledgeable and he's a good guy as far as if you're going against Roz to have on your side. But he's done some fucked up shit. He has, and he's tried to kill members of their group on countless times. And not only that, but I know we're being honest. Oliver finally told Thea, right? So we're being honest. And even Thea's reaction to Malcolm and how she realized that she was being manipulated and she didn't trust him. She wanted nothing to do with him. Fine. But we still haven't told Thea that Malcolm brainwashed her and forced her to kill Sarah. That's something that I can't forgive. I still haven't forgiven. Maybe it's because of how much I loved the Sarah character, but I can't believe Oliver almost has forgotten that Malcolm, not even indirectly, he was pretty much behind the death of Sarah, and he used his sister to do so as leverage. That's something that Thea still doesn't even know. So if she ever finds that out and knows that Oliver knows about that, that's something that she has a right to be pissed about. I don't know. I feel weird still about that. It has to be a payoff at some point. Now, when Laurel goes to try to find the Vertigo guy who has broken out of prison, I liked even the mystery on how he did that, how the reporter was involved in it, and how the guard went crazy off of Vertigo and was shooting reporters. Like, that was pretty insane. But then when Laurel gets shot with the drug and she reacts to it and freaks out, and then we see the moment from the beginning when she is seeing Sarah in front of her and they start fighting. It was awesome. It was badass. I more than loved seeing Kitty Lots back. It's as sad as I am to know that she's dead and she's not a character anymore in the show. If we can find some way, any way, to finagle her into an episode, to put her in there, I'm all for it. Even seeing her, since she was a manifestation of Laurel's fears, and she was pretty much acting evil, the way how she was attacking her and talking to her, I still liked seeing her there. And I even liked how, again, addressing everybody's criticisms of Laurel becoming Black Canary, that's what even that version of Sarah was saying. You know, you're trying to be me, you don't deserve to wear my mask. It was a lot of things that I thought felt right. If we're still trying to win people over and going to the point where Laurel is going to officially become Black Canary for good, this is the perfect way to do it. I mean, you have to have Laurel being secure about this and the whole her living in Sarah's shadows and follow her footsteps. It was a lot of good themes as far as Laurel and Sarah goes. Now, there was a moment where they were working on Laurel because she was all messed up, and then Thea came down to talk to Oliver, and Oliver sort of talked back to Thea. I mean, all he really said was, leave, get out of here. He didn't want her to see this. And then Roy just starts talking back. Like, don't talk to her like that. Who do you think you are? She's a part of this now. And I was kind of thinking, what the hell, Roy? Like, where is this coming from? Clearly it's because he likes Thea, so it was more of like impressing her, I guess. But then even Felicity jumped in and said, look, you were gone. And she almost said this without saying this. We've moved on. So we don't do things your way anymore. And that just didn't... I didn't like that. I didn't. As much as I was praising Felicity and her opinions earlier, it came off wrong. It sounded like the whole group was turning on him. And I admit, they kind of won me back over when Oliver and Diggle had a one-on-one talk, and Diggle basically said... Like, he said it in a much better way. it came off better when Diggle said it, where he said, "Look, we thought you were dead. You were gone." Which, by the way, isn't Oliver's fault. It's not like he faked his death and let them think this. He tried his best to get back to the fucking city. Give him a break. But Diggle did say that this has become bigger than just Oliver. And that's what I reacted to, that I resonated with. It was, this whole thing that Oliver started, he's inspired this whole group. Roy, Diggle, Felicity to a certain extent. Thea's even kind of almost involved, and especially Laurel now. These people are inspired, and they do want to do their part in helping the city. And it took Oliver, them thinking Oliver died, to realize that in themselves. So just that I understood where they were coming from in that respect. Thea ends up sleeping with the DJ. When I saw that, I said, what the fuck? Really, Thea? Really, you gonna fall for this guy with those lame lines? It just horrible game, which he even admitted to. Like he had horrible game. I know he's really a League of Shadows person, but okay, fine. So she slept with him, but then she figured out something was odd with him, and I loved the fight scene that they had. Thea, she could take care of herself, but I mean, it didn't look like she was gonna defeat him. Then Roy shows up. So was Roy just like outside of the house, like waiting? Like, was he listening to them have sex, and he was just like waiting for something bad to happen? Well, he came in. Then there was another fight. So this guy, his second fight now, him and Roy going at it. That was cool. And then an arrow goes into the guy, and I thought, oh, Oliver's here? No, it's Malcolm Merlyn. He made the save, and I didn't know what was going to happen next, if Merlyn was going to kill him, until this guy he killed himself. He drank poison, like a Nazi Germany guy. He just like, no, you can't kill me. I'm going to kill myself before I let myself get tortured. It's, wow. Okay. So that storyline is done now. That was mostly for Thea to realize that I guess she does need Merlyn more than she thought. Then Laurel ends up getting injected with vertigo once again, and Sarah shows back up, manifestation, and they fight again, but with a twist. We get Detective Lance also in Laurel's fears, and her fear of having to tell him about Sarah's death and him being angry at her about it. That I liked. I liked that it wasn't just the same thing all over again with her being afraid of Sarah or insecure. It was also her father, and that was something that I wasn't expecting. And the fact that she overcame that, I thought was important for her character once again. I don't know how many people are going to buy it and go along with it, but still, when you follow that with the scene where she does finally, after all this time, after the back and forth on whether or not it was right for her to lie to her father, she finally told him. And just, man, Quentin's reaction of realizing what Laura was going to say about he just broke down, tears, and you're not my baby girl. And again, that broke me. That broke my heart, seeing him just, it was like his worst fears happening again. That was a great scene. And then we see Oliver hiking with Thea, which I thought was amusing because Thea was already out of breath. And then you realize that he took her to the island. Holy shit, I wasn't expecting that. That was really cool. I like that now they're being honest with each other. And, I mean, he's going to tell her everything. He's going to show her, or at least give her an idea of what he went through. Probably tell her some stuff about the island. So all of that was great. Especially when you see the commercial for next week and you realize that Slade is going to be back next week. Whoo! I got chills. Just hearing his voice. You don't see him in the commercial, but you heard his voice, and it looks like he's booby-trapped the island. I cannot wait for next week. And really quick, I want to mention the flashbacks of the episode because we got a lot more of Amanda Waller. I'm still wondering, what does she want with Oliver? It's almost like they're purposely keeping it a mystery. I know she was going after them for their actions and turning on her and doing all this stuff. But I don't know why she is bringing him back to Starling City. It's so weird to where in season 1, I swear they said he was on the island for 5 years. Now it's not only did he get off the island and he was in Hong Kong for almost a year, but now he went back to Starling City without anyone knowing, or without, like, really? So all this is going to happen and then he's going to wind up back on the island? I need to see how they pull that off. Obviously, though, I enjoyed the episode. I enjoyed it a lot. Next show I'm going to talk about, The Flash. This was another great episode. It was called The Nuclear Man, and it pretty much all surrounded the Ronnie character, who has been fused, sort of, with the Martin Stein character, who that actor I really like a lot. See him and stuff. And it was weird. It's weird that it's Martin Stein's brain in Ronnie's body, and just him sort of stalking his wife, but his wife obviously doesn't know who he is. And then when he talks to Caitlin, and she's getting weird mixed feelings and reactions to him, just being there and looking the way that he does. So that was crazy. I certainly wasn't expecting him to blow up at the very end. I don't know what that means. I doubt that Ronnie is dead now. I mean, I was hoping he would be a part of the actual show somehow as more of a regular, but then all of a sudden they kill him. Supposedly. I don't think it's the end for him, but they did a convincing job of making it seem like this is the end for him. I also really liked the special effects. When you saw him and he flamed on, which was funny. You know, he was just on fire. He even burnt one of the professor guys, just completely charred. And I like the dilemma of the group debating whether they should go after him, because technically he's no different than a metahuman that they go after. But they also knew who he was. Some of the side plot I want to talk about is Barry having to balance dating and crime fighting. I love this. This completely reminded me of Spider-Man, and it's not the first time I've made that comparison with the Flash on this version of the Flash and Spider-Man. I think they're doing a great job of watching this character try to balance both lives. It's hard for him to do it. This girl that he's dating, Linda Park, wow. First of all, she's hot. So, score 1 for Barry Allen. Good job. But to see him, for example, on the couch with her, making out, about to do his thing, until he has to leave. And this happened once, twice, 3 times maybe throughout the episode. And he's a better man than me. I'm sorry. I could not leave a girl like that, half naked, on top of me, to go fight some crime. I know it would make me a shitty superhero. I admit it. I would be a horrible superhero. If you have a choice between this Linda Park girl or fighting crime, it's one night. Fuck. Give him one night off. I mean, have you seen this girl? Come on. I think they would understand that. Now, when Barry was telling Cisco and Caitlin that he was going to go on like a second date with her, and he was excited about it, and they were like, whoa, are you moving too fast? I was very much watching Caitlin's reaction. I was seeing if she was going to show signs of being jealous. No, nothing. I'm surprised. I'm impressed. But Iris, on the other hand, was, I mean, if it wasn't more obvious that she was jealous. And it's weird because I bought the fact when she said she didn't have feelings for Barry. I completely bought it. Now, though, what's going on here? Look, you can say that, yeah, maybe she didn't like Barry in that way, but she still liked the idea of him liking her. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe she just liked the attention from him. I don't know. I mean, it's not the first time I'm sure that's true for a girl, right? Just liking the attention from a guy, even if she doesn't like him. But the moment when she told Linda sort of asked her for advice, or just like, what's going on with Barry? Why is he like this with girls? And Iris, not only saying that Barry hasn't really had a girlfriend before, strike one, but to tell her that, oh, he liked this person and the feelings weren't reciprocated, so he's going through a rough time right now. Bitch, really? You're gonna tell Linda that? Wow. Some best friend. The ultimate cock blocker. I mean, if you're living with Eddie and you're happy with him and you're gonna move on and do your thing, have your own relationship, why would you say that to the girl that Barry is dating, starting to like? He's moving on. He's doing the thing that I've wanted him to do all season. He's finally doing it, and you fucking blew it! Like, you put this idea in her head now, and she made this face like, oh, okay, she's putting the pieces together and realizing it's probably her that she's talking about, and it just made everything awkward. I've seen some people at the beginning of the season say that they didn't like Iris, but this was the first time for me where I said, I don't like Iris in this episode. I don't like whatever she has going on in her head. Because even when Barry went up to her and said, look, I have to make this clear to you. I don't have those feelings for you anymore. She just made this face like, oh, you don't? Oh, well, who am I going to get to follow me around with puppy dog eyes now? It's like, fuck, be happy for him. You didn't like him back. Damn it. Okay, well, let's talk about West and Cisco investigating Barry's old house. I very much enjoyed that, seeing these two work together. And when they went to the house and this divorced MILF was there, completely sort of putting herself out there, she was pretty hot. I wouldn't have blamed West either, just like Cisco said. But I liked what they figured out. I mean, look, if you want me to explain how this all makes sense, I couldn't fucking tell you. I'm just going to take their word for it, that somehow they could take whatever particles are on the foundations of the walls and the room, and they could somehow create a picture of what happened 10 or some odd years ago. I don't know. It sounds far-fetched to me, but come on. It's a TV show about a guy who can run really fast, and there's a bunch of metahumans in the city. I think I can give them some leeway on this type of science. What I liked more about it, though, is that they found blood, which I guess they couldn't just clean the blood on the wall. They just had to put wallpaper over it. So they went to test the blood, and my first thought was, holy crap. They're going to find out that it's Barry's blood from the future. Because now that's a theory going around that not only Reverse Flash was there the night his mom died, but Barry from the future was there as well. That's fascinating to me if that's true. Clearly it is true, because by the end of it, Cisco put two and two together. Now before that, though, when Wes was saying that he thought maybe Harrison Wells has something to do with it, I love that. I love that West is pretty much figuring it out. I mean, maybe he's going to be confused or thrown off now, but still, he's on to Wells. He's on to him, and I think he will be the one to figure it out. And unfortunately, I think that's going to mean the demise of West, and I'm not looking forward to that happening. So, love the episode. Now, let's talk about Supernatural. This episode was entitled Halt and Catch Fire. Now, I admit this episode was all over the place. It started off with this boyfriend and girlfriend driving, and the GPS pretty much told the boyfriend to kill himself or to drive off of a condemned bridge. Even told the girlfriend to get out of the car so that it could do it, strap him in, and it drove itself off the bridge and killed him. Okay, a little confusing, but I thought it was creepy. I did. But then you get to the moment where this girl on her computer, a bunch of 810 numbers show up, and she doesn't know what's going on. She's starting to freak out because the instant messenger popped up and was like, I know what you did last summer. Okay, maybe it really didn't say that, but just that's the vibe I got from it. I know what happened. She was freaking out. And then this was very cartoony and goofy, how the computer wrapped the plug cord around her neck and strangled her. I don't know, it seemed really goofy. The acting wasn't that great. A little CGI too. All it's doing is strangling her, but yet there was like CGI in her face. Very awkward. Then you have the kid who dies from the stereo being too loud. I guess the stereo blew up the inside of his brain or his face. Blood came out of it. Okay. But then trying to figure out the mystery on like how are these people connected, what's really going on. Until we find out that it is, frankly, I Know What You Did Last Summer plot, where all of these kids, like a year or so ago, they were speeding in the highway and they accidentally caused this guy to crash in his car. He hit a telephone pole and the electrical wires fell on his car, electrocuted him, and blew his car up. Killed him. So now this guy is back for revenge, and not only that, but he is living through Wi-Fi. His ghost is living through the Wi-Fi that was connected to the telephone poles. So that's how he was killing these people. He was using technology, using Wi-Fi to kill them. I know, this is stupid. I have to be honest, this is one of the worst plots that I've ever seen on a Supernatural episode. It was horrible. But what saved the episode was Sam and Dean. If it wasn't for these two actors, characters, and even the writing pertaining to them, this wouldn't have worked. I wouldn't have cared. You had the moments of Dean just acting like Dean, where he's, when they're investigating and he's checking out girls in the college place, and he just, he can't even listen to the girl talking, giving her story without, checking the girls out. That had me laughing pretty well. And then him eating like crazy. I don't think there was one scene without him just eating this large plate of endless amount of food. It was great. And then him not being internet savvy and the slang and him being confused by all of that. It's an easy laugh, but it still made me laugh nonetheless. And then, so not only just with the humor with them, but the very last scene of Dean telling Sam that, look, I'm not going to give up necessarily on the mark of Cain, but I'm not going to go crazy trying to find a cure because, let's be honest, there doesn't seem to be a cure. So he's going to deal with it. He's going to live with it, and he's going to do whatever he has to do to fight it that way. And as concerned as Sam was for him, and clearly he doesn't want him to just give up. He doesn't want to lose his brother again. Again, character stuff with them, and that was a straight, real moment with them. So again, it's plot-wise, it was a pretty bad episode, but it was Dean, all of his funny comedic moments, and Sam, their relationship that they can do anything. Clearly they can do whatever the fuck they want as far as a plot, and they can keep me interested in watching if it's the two of them. Now, the last but not least episode that I'm going to talk about is Gotham, because this was entitled The Scarecrow. And the plot anyways was a continuation from the last episode where Dr. Crane, Jonathan Crane's father, was finishing creating the fear gas that he obtained from all those people that he killed. And when he put it into himself, injected himself, I was confused. I was like, why the fuck is he doing this? Until it was explained that it's not that he's not using the gas like Jonathan Crane later would use it. He's using it for him to conquer his own fear, so that he doesn't fear anything, so that he can face the regret of losing his wife in the fire, and he can no longer be afraid of that. And I thought, okay, it was a little interesting, especially by the end of it, when Gordon and Bullock were onto him and were shooting at him, and he wasn't afraid for shit. He put his gun out and shot at them and didn't even take cover, and he's like, you think I'm afraid of your bullets? I'm fearless, and he's going crazy, and he's getting shot and not reacting to it. I'm like, fuck, this is pretty crazy. It can't prevent him from dying, But still, between that and him injecting the gas into his son, Jonathan, I mean, you can't help but feel bad for the kid. And it's a clear-cut reason for why he will become who he becomes. The moment at the end when you saw what he sees now from the permanent doses of the gas, that he just constantly sees this Scarecrow-looking demon hovering over him in the hospital, like, that was pretty freaky. And the fact that the actor playing Jonathan's father, he played Jor-El on Smallville. Go fucking figure. I couldn't believe it when I realized it. Now, Fish Mooney, this was really different and interesting. I mean, I guess from what I thought this was going to be. Last time we saw her, she was on that boat ship, and these people just raided it. And she had that running collision with her and the other guy, which was still silly and goofy. But it's weird to go from that to just, cut, and she's imprisoned. And so I go like, okay, so then did she get her ass kicked by this guy? Or did she put up a good fight and then maybe somebody else came in? I would have liked to have seen how she lost that fight. She seemed like she could have taken the guy. I mean, as crazy as she charged at him, but okay, fine. She's in this place now, and you see how everyone is dirty. They've been there for God knows how long. They get fed and they fight each other over it. So I mean, I didn't really know where this was going, to be honest. I was more or less wondering, okay, so now she got caught and put into this place. Like, why is nobody killing her? You know, it's like everybody just wants to tie her up and torture her, I guess. But nobody's killing her, until I did like her sort of adapting. Assessing the situation and saying, look, I'm not going to be one of these pathetic people begging for food. I'm going to take charge. And she went up to the biggest and baddest guy running the place, and she seduced him and quickly killed him. Like, shoved a knife in his throat and said, all right, you see this? I killed this guy. Now I'm in charge. Now you guys listen to me. That I liked. That made me go, all right, this fucking chick means business. And I want to see now what she's going to do with these people. So, let's talk about Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne was hiking. And I like that. See, this is what... Because at first the commercials played it out as to he just goes off and he's going to do this random thing of going in the woods and, like, you didn't really know why. But I liked how they established that this is something him and his father used to do, and this is the first time that he's going to try to do this by himself, not even with Alfred. And that made me get a lot of respect for Bruce. I liked that. I even liked a lot how when he fell down that huge hill and he hurt his leg, I liked seeing him sort of in danger like that, having to work through it by himself. It's totally something I could picture Batman doing. In fact, I'm pretty sure I've seen Batman do something similar to this when he's in a messed up situation. He doesn't have his gadgets. He has to use the things around him to survive, to get through the night, and that's what Bruce did here. He grabbed some twigs and branches, and he patched up his leg, and he climbed the mountain. And I was like, fuck yeah, okay, this kid got something, until... hilarious. I couldn't stop laughing when I saw Alfred on top of the mountain with a fire, and he was like, oh, there you are, finally. And Bruce was like, what the fuck, Alfred? I was hurt down there. You couldn't help me? And Alfred was like, I didn't make you go down there. You know, this was all you. And he said he's been there for like an hour. It was hilarious. And then they had the nice moment of watching the sun rise. So all of that I just really liked. I liked everything with Bruce here. Let's talk about James Gordon and Leslie Tompkins, because, I mean, it seems as though they're officially a couple now. Yes. I couldn't be any more happier than that. And even with her working at the precinct, I mean, I guess I get why Gordon is a little uncomfortable. I get it. He's around his fellow cops and Bullock, and she just comes up to him and kisses him in front of everyone, doesn't care. She's open, and she almost wants to tell everybody, look, we're dating. And it's funny to see Gordon be uncomfortable by that and tell her, look, we can't do this. But I don't want that to be like such a big issue that that's why they break up. I mean, I get it. I was entertained by Gordon being uncomfortable. But I don't want him to be so uptight. I mean, look, this girl is gorgeous. And she wants to be with you. And you know what? I like a woman who wants to, she takes what she wants. And she's like, hey, I'm going to fucking kiss you in front of everybody. Big deal. So there's a lot to like about Leslie Tompkins. So I do want Gordon to lighten up a little bit. I loved when she said, hey, I have tickets to the circus. And so they're going to go to the circus. And Flying Graysons, anyone? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's coming. So Falcone sort of kept his promise and kept Penguin alive. He went to Maroni, and he did everything he could to keep Penguin alive. And I like that. I like that. Sure, he's not completely being honest with Penguin. He is using him, and he is going to keep him at a certain lower level for certain reasons. But he didn't just sell him out like I thought he was going to do. He didn't just let him feed him to Maroni like I was afraid of. No, he's going to keep him alive. And not only that, he gave him Fish Mooney's nightclub. And I was hoping Penguin would call it the Iceberg Lounge, but he didn't. He calls it the Oswald. So, okay, fine. In due time, I'm sure we'll get the Iceberg Lounge. But I like Penguin sort of stepping up in the gang community. And, it's just anything with the Penguin I loved. Even when he went to go visit Gordon first, when he went there, and we got the moment of Penguin meeting the Riddler for the very first time. And sure, it was a little silly and goofy, the way how they, Nigma was following him, and they just kind of, got to each other. But it was comical. It was comical to see Penguin act tough and threaten somebody else. And I think it's the first time I've seen that, or at least seen it in a way where Penguin actually came off tough and scary. Because usually he's begging for his life, and he's like, please, please. But this time he punked Nigma. Shouldn't be too much of a surprise. Still a cool moment that they did that, though. And then he goes to Gordon, and he invited him to his club, and Gordon turned him down and said, I don't, you shouldn't come here anymore. We're not friends. And Penguin's reaction to that, saying that's not a wise move. You're going to need me one day. I like that Penguin didn't just immediately get pissed at Gordon. He gave him the second chance. He said, reconsider. Gordon obviously didn't do it, so I do think Penguin will be mad, and I do think something will happen. But I'm really liking their dynamic. Him thinking of Gordon as a friend. Gordon wanted nothing to do with him. I don't know what's going to happen, but I like it. So, there you go. That's the episode. I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot, actually. Still, this is like the third week in a row with no Barbara, so I'm all for that. But I should probably talk about what everybody's talking about as far as Gotham goes, because in the preview to next week, they gave a rundown of all the villains, right? And then we saw that the next villain is no joke. And they showed this kid laughing. Yeah. Okay, I'm not impressed. I'm not. I saw some comments of people saying, awesome, the Joker, yeah, this show's bringing in the Joker. And they love it. Good for them. Seriously, good for them. I'm not being sarcastic. If they're into that, more power to them. But you know what? That's not what I want. I don't need, care, or want to see a young kid version of the Joker. It does nothing for me. It's something that I shouldn't have to describe how dangerous it is to do a young pre-Joker character. I've never wanted to know the origin of the Joker. And I'm not saying that this is the first medium that's ever done a Joker origin. Sure, even Batman 89 did a pre-Joker, how he became the Joker. But first of all, that was different. let's be honest, he was already a grown adult, and it wasn't. We didn't spend a whole lot of time with him as a pre-Joker. This is like him as a teenager. It's something I never ever cared or thought about. Hey, I wondered what the Joker was like as a teenager. I didn't care, and I didn't care, and even in the comic books when they've done versions of him and his backstory and the Red Hood stuff or him being a comedian, I didn't care. I love the Joker when he's mysterious, when you don't know where the fuck he came from. I don't want to say the Dark Knight, like, oh, because it's the Dark Knight. No, the way how they handle it's perfectly. You don't know where the fuck he came from, who he is, his real name, his backstory. He just fucking arrives. And he already is as insane as he is. So that's just the problem, I guess, by doing a pre-Batman story, is that you're going to get into some of these origins, and most of them I don't mind, you know. I haven't minded the Selena Kyle stuff. I haven't minded the Penguin stuff, even the Riddler stuff I'm getting into. But now the Joker, it's overkill. It's overkill. Even if you disagree with me and don't mind that they're using the Joker, Season 1, and we've already done how many Batman villains? Like, we just did the Scarecrow, too, and then we're going to throw the Joker in. It's like, it's enough. It's enough. We have Poison Ivy. We have all of these characters. The Joker, it's just... maybe I'm ranting a lot longer than I should be about this. I'm not happy. I'm not happy that they're going to use the Joker like it looks like they're going to do. But... anyways, guys, that's my thoughts on all of these TV shows. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments below what were some of your favorite episodes. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!